motherfucker, don't you threaten me, nigga. You call me the fuck back now.
Yeah. I ain't your bitch. What you doing? And you don't treat me to give me the bitch treatment.
You answer to me right now.
Yes.
All right.
Grown man.
For the world's problems. I was in deep thought. And, no, I was actually just thinking about relationships, about, you know, all the things that's going on in relationships today and just sex and love. And I was like, man, I said, sex thing. I was actually looking at this on Instagram, how these pictures are of women. Like everything is just about sex. And I said, which one is it? More about sex, more about love, unhealthy balance. I wanted to ask you a question. I'm
up here knowing that people call in. I forgot that I didn't tell anything I was supposed to do, and you got me trying. And I forgot to put up the show on the website and everything. So, and then I could have been doing it while you were talking, but I was so enthralled with your words.
Yes, Tommy, I'm quite captivating. Yes.
I was listening and said, this motherfucker's the most interesting thing in the world. You ever listen to somebody talk and be like, I don't know if anybody else notices, but this motherfucker's eloquent. You find yourself looking in the eyes of a grown-ass man. Go on.
He speaks so well. He's captivating.
I gotta tell somebody about this. Fuck Ted talks, Brian talks.
This is a jewel. No one knows about it. Goodness. Mortimer, we've struck it rich.
I said, why am I listening to this nigga? I know the man that ain't that important to me. But when you think about this whole idea of sex, but because I think to myself, not what I want to do, but
trees that are green.
I'm getting booed. I mean, these are the kind of jokes I get. You know, your niggas corny, you say corny shit. But I was looking at this from and I'll let you guys call me. We'll deal with a lot of I looked at my life, and a lot of it was based upon, I figured that sex is important because as I grew up, everybody talked about sex. Like, sex is the #1 course of conversation. I'm in high school, you got your dick sucked. In middle school, it was wrangling bitches, which is sad because my daughter in middle school, but that's neither here nor there. That shit made me mad. I'm gonna take out that middle school. She about to get homeschooled. But I was sitting there, and that's what life was about. And at young ages, sex was more important than anything. We were fucking shit in high school when we didn't even know where we were gonna go to college. We were fucking and shit in high school. We didn't even know what elective we were gonna take. We were fucking and shit in high school when we didn't even have enough money to buy ice cream at the lunch counter. Like, sex was that important. And then now today, the music says sex, 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 sex. How do we actually have a functional relationship when without sex, we typically don't have anything to talk about with the other person? How many of you have you noticed that when you're not fucking somebody, like, I don't like you? And that's a lot of what happens with us. And I think I probably look like a fool, but like when women who I like being around, I'm not fucking them, when I say it to them, they probably look like, are you saying this? When I would hope that they would understand. A lot of times when you get through, like I've got through having sex with people and thought to myself, I don't want to have sex again with anybody. Like, I don't even want to be in a relationship with a motherfucker. Like, I don't know if that's ever happened to anybody else, but you just sit there and you're like, once the sex is out of the way, there's so much of not anything left that you just get tired. Like, it's the same fucking routine. I work hard to get this sex from this person I don't like. I work hard to get this sex from this person I won't see for 9 more months. I work hard to get this sex from this person that's a fucking idiot. But sex is more important than the other stuff because I never asked about the other stuff. I just asked about the sex. I didn't ask if this person could have a good conversation. Didn't even have a conversation with the motherfucker before I fucked him. The first time I heard the bitch voice was when my dick went in. She said, ooh, that's all. You got a nice voice. You been just texting a motherfucker. Like, think about it. It was so impersonal. When was the last time I picked up the phone and talked to a bitch? I can't remember when it was.
I think sex is kind of like, it's that one thing that binds us together. It is extremely important. I think it's like the oil in your car. You gotta have engine. You gotta have oil in your engine to run properly. So it's like it's that binding agent that makes things work together well. So, and I think that when it comes to when you're having sex, I think that's when things get really, really great. I think that's what we like you talking about middle school, grammar school, elementary school, and things like that's, you know, whether it was smacking a girl in the butt, but actually having sex, you lie about it, try for it every day. I mean, as a kid, that's your mission. You know, once you start getting into sex and you want to have it every day as a kid, that's what you want to do. Everything that you do is around sex. When you become a young adult, everything that you strive to be and everything that you want to be, it has something to do with sex. It's like you are functioning with sex. It's like whatever it is you're trying to achieve as a man, it's something you can have sex with different types of women. More sophisticated, whatever the case may be. It's like that's always a factor that's being played. So it's like there's so much that's centered around it. And I think that's by genetic design, but I think that we kind of disappoint how we live. I think that we become over sex in a sense where it is totally wrong.
Right, like I don't think anything with sex. It's like the best shit in the world, like the best sleep I can get. You know, gave me the Popeye treatment. It blows me. But the point is, but the point is, like, a lot of times when you have sex with people, as soon as you don't want to touch you don't want to touch you see all the flaws. I think that's what I miss, because I actually kind of like the idea. Like, sex is like dessert. It should be, in my opinion. You eat for sustenance. The dessert is what you want to eat. It encapsulates everything. And I look at it and I say, it's great when you can. It's great when it's even better when I can lay down. And I think that's what the younger people miss. the young people, niggas who having sex, they start texting each other. Get online, they phones up. Like, I know, and ladies, you can probably tell me, and I'm gonna go to the phone and pose the question to you. You know when you're really with somebody when you forget to look at your phone. You know, scared for battery. You just wanna be under that person. And you spent 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours. You don't spend a whole day. You don't want to go to work. You don't want to. Like, I think it's that mutual want that sex can enhance. But I don't think sex is looked at as a dessert or an enhancer anymore. I think sex is looked at how women are using makeup. Makeup used to be an enhancer to the beauty you already had. Now, makeup is the beauty you had. Without the makeup, you're not beautiful. I think sex is the same way. Without the sex, we're not together. There is no in between. I need the sex to feel important, and without the sex,
there's people who didn't do anything to get their disease that are dying of it because there's not enough research money because it's going to mostly completely preventable disease.
I get that point. That if we weren't, well, man, I think that's one of the reasons why it's not a death sentence anymore. So it's because that has happened. And once we get the vaccine, a vaccine would be wonderful because then the tourism industry in Thailand will just boom.
It's kind of like this though. Everything has always been fuck the children. The court systems fuck the children. AIDS research grants versus cancer research grants fuck the children. Basically, everything is always fuck the next generation. Like
the church, the children.
That's simply because children don't vote.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens a couple years when we get. I know TFM keeps talking about the collapse. I don't think it's going to happen here, but it's going to be an interesting thing when we get a lopsided, more people collecting Social Security and paying into it.
That's already happening.
Not yet. We're a couple years away, but it will be very soon.
I don't know, man. From the outside, I can see a lot of things coming together. Maybe there will be some civil unrest because of all the shit going on with the partisan thing between left and right. Maybe that can be a big contributor if things don't just blow up the fucking roof right now. Well, not now, in the following months or whatever.
That's really exaggerated, sir. I mean, it's a couple thousand morons in a place of 350 million. It's not really. It's the same morons in every gathering.
And the question,
say that things are escalating, or maybe it could become, exponential in some way.
Well, like the collapse that the TFM talks about, often, that can happen in, say, Japan very easily. Because their debt ratio at the point is if interest rates go up 2%, it's game over. They do not have enough tax revenue in the country to pay their bills.
Isn't that also the case for U.S.?
One thing.
No, well, the U.S. has a lot of the economic rules don't apply to the U.S. because, you saw the bullshit we got away with quantitative easing. That shouldn't have worked.
Right. It's the one thing you're not taking into account is the reason America hasn't suffered from hyperinflation is simply because other countries are still taking our dollars. But as soon as those fucking pigeons come home to roost, it's game over for us.
Well, the thing is, every other big economy in the world has a vested interest in the United States not failing. That's the thing. It is.
I would say that a lot of countries actually will be interested in U.S. failing.
Yep.
They would say that. They will say that. They will think that. When they think rationally, they just realize how bad of a thing it actually is. And as far as foreign holdings of our debt, that's not the vast majority of our debt's held by Americans.
Yeah, you're right. But they're still taking our dollars because they think they have value. As soon as they decide that it doesn't have value, they're going to start selling them back and buying it. You're going to see exports go up in America, and when that happens, we're going to prosper for just a little while, and then that's going to mean all this money's coming back into America because they're going to be taking products out, and then immediately you're going to see right behind it hyperinflation. That will crash.
I don't know if I don't know if that's the case. I mean, because there's not like the American dollar is backed by the American military-industrial complex. It's really what backs it, and that's not going away anytime soon. I mean, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what's going to happen 50 years from now, but I'm thinking within my lifetime, I just don't see that stuff happening here. Whereas smaller countries who aren't the 800-pound gorilla, actually, it's like, okay, you know how we got some states like Illinois who are insolvent, stuff like that? States actually have to follow the rules. They have to pay off their debts. They can't just print money when they need stuff. They can't be creative with financing where they pull trillions of dollars out of their ass to buy toxic assets and all this stuff with money that they just made out of nowhere. So states can go insolvent or whatever. The federal government kind of has a lot more flexibility as to what it can get away with. And because the dollar's a currency that's used to buy oil, and that's not changing anytime soon. We will probably, you see, if there's some kind of, if the collapse is going to happen, it's going to happen somewhere else first. It's going to happen in a couple countries in Europe. It'll be like some more Venezuelas. It'll definitely happen in Japan before it happens here. So we'll have warning. I just hope people aren't fucking retarded and will actually act upon that warning.
See, what you're just describing right there is where the real theft is occurring, and that's the inflation, the devaluing of the dollar that people have in their savings. That's the real problem.
Yeah, actually, you mentioned this. Interesting. TFM talked about that exactly. It's how you use inflation as a tax. It's not a tax.
Right. And that's what
absolutely right.
That's what fiat money's all about, and that's why states don't have the right to create money. They don't have a money. The country is the one with the money system, and if they keep watering it down, they're stealing from people who have savings.
Yeah, well, it does that, but it also, well, if your savings is in money, if your savings is in stock or other assets, the value is maintained. I mean, if you're sitting on
now we're going to get into another conversation, and that's the carrot and the stick. Every economist that I've ever heard, they're like, oh, we have to have 2 to 3% inflation every month, and that's what drives the economy. No,
it's not. That's backward. I get this argument with my fucking father all the time. Inflation doesn't drive the economy. Inflation is the effect of a driven economy.
Inflation is the effect of an overspending federal government.
It's one contributing factor, but it's not the primary one.
It's the only contributing factor.
You're saying the government is the only contributing factor to inflation? Did I understand that correctly?
Yep. By them pumping, what is it, $80 billion a month in new money into the system, that's what's causing it. If the government was on a balanced budget, and that's what pisses me off more than anything, is the fact that the fuckers Broccoli was just talking about fuck the children. There's where the children are really getting fucked. $80 billion a month the government is fucking the children, because that money is going to have to be paid back someday, presumably. You can't just go on infinitely creating new more money to prop it up.
You can't go on forever, but there's a lot. But the point I believe is America can get away with more than most other places can. Probably more than any other place can.
At whose expense? At whose expense? That's what pisses me off. At whose expense? I got into this argument with my fucking dad. My dad is he can't stand liberals because of their spending habits. But the second he collects his Social Security, I'm gonna get mine. And I'm like, yeah, now you just turned into a damn Democrat.
Yeah, I don't expect Social Security to be there when I retire.
No, but the bill's gonna be there.
Yeah, you'll still be paying the tax.
Well, they'll probably raise the retirement age to 70.
Well, they've already done that to me. I can't retire till I'm 67 now and to collect Social Security.
Aren't you like rich and stuff?
No, I'm not rich.
Oh, okay.
Not yet, anyway.
17 more years to go. You have time.
Well, hopefully next year things will look a whole lot different if my little invention takes off.
I know my father, when he was a bit younger in Canada, he had many inventions, ideas, like engines that were later patented, but he didn't have money for the patent since he was such a young engineer and stuff like that. Unfortunate.
That's actually one of the things I hope to be able to do. If I can make this strike, and I can make a few of my other little inventions go, that I can actually go out and help people who are in the position I'm in right now that have great ideas that just need a little money to help them get over the hump. I'd love to be able to help them.
Are you patented enough that you can tell us what it is, or is it still a secret?
No, it's a single point tactical ring for especially designed for lever action rifles right now, but the patent is so broad that I can cover any kind of long gun, shotgun, rifle. If I can figure out how to put one on it within my patent, I own it.
I totally understand the frustration of having a lot of ideas and not having the money to patent them or realize them. I've been working for several years on several projects, and that happened to me a lot of times. One time I